Introductions are massively important. It's hard to overstate just how important they are. The introduction has got a lot of work to do. You need to present your topic, explain the scope of your analysis, offer your most substantial analytic terms, and move toward the stakes of your analysis, the so what or the who cares of your paper. Beyond that, you need to establish the tone of the paper. What kind of reading audience are you expecting to engage with in this piece? How will you treat the subject matter? What's your angle? In an open forum, you must end the introduction with a question that needs to be answered, and your reader should, by then, have a sense as to why this question matters. And you need to do all this in a very short amount of space. A good rule of thumb to follow, the introduction should be no more than 10% of the paper's length. So in this paper, MA1, that's about half a page, double-spaced. It's not a lot of time. So how do you begin? Fortunately, a good introduction has the same basic features in just about any form of communication. A greeting, an ad, a story, a novel, a movie, too. Let's have a look at a couple. You know this one. Okay, hold it. Look at this shot. We talked about this together a little bit already. What do you see? Outer space, small ship, big ship chasing small ship, shooting at it. Big ship is looming from above, overwhelming the screen. But it's also like a giant wedge. It's forcing its way in, overpowering the image. Right away, we know who the good guys are, the little guys, who the bad guys are, the bullies. And we know this is a science fiction movie. It's set in outer space. We have one of the main themes, the angle, the genre, all in one tiny snapshot. Okay, again. Quite a bit different this time. It's not chasing some tiny ship, it's coming right for us. The threat is different. It isn't above us, it's directly in front of us. It's not chasing, it's hunting, thinking, planning. All we have so far are the bad guys, no good guys around anyplace. This sets up a very different expectation, but there's still a lot of information about the movie that will unfold. We should expect the same science fiction space stuff, but with more development on the plotting and plans, the general psychology of the bad guys. One more, you know what it is. Well, this looks familiar. Big wedge ship forcing its way into the screen. Didn't work out so well for the Death Star the last time we started here. What do you suppose will happen this time? Instead of chasing a tiny ship, we see a tiny little shuttle emerge from the bottom of the Star Destroyer. And we see the mechanical inner workings of the ship, the soft underbelly, so to speak, of the invincible juggernaut. We know then, just from this shot, that the Death Star in the background is going down. We know, too, there's going to be a great unaccounted for weakness in the Empire's armor that is involved with that downfall. Now, in all of these shots, we're not told anything about the plot. We are given a sense of the direction the film will take, the main ideas it will be concerned with, and most importantly, the film grabs our attention. These attributes all hold true for any introduction, including the introduction to your paper. There's a number of ways to do this in a paper. One way is just to cut right to the chase. Don't give a bunch of elaborate, overwrought rhetorical flourishes. Just cut to the chase. Tell me explicitly, exactly what you're going to do. There's something of a running joke with English professors about students who start a paper with the line, "Since the dawn of time." Don't do that. This is Star Wars. Cavemen didn't have Star Wars. Just jump right in with your topic. Another really common technique is to add a hook as the opening line, something that will grab your reader's attention, make them wonder what could be next. A good hook sets up a mystery that needs to be resolved. The reader will need to keep reading to find out more. There's a few ways you can do this. You could give some surprising or shocking statistic. Over the course of your life, you will swallow 8 spiders in your sleep. I don't know if that's true. I hope that's not true. The caveat here is that the stat obviously has to relate to your topic. Star Wars has won more Academy Awards for sound design than any other film franchise. Oh, why is that? What do you have to tell me about Star Wars and sound design? You could start with a quote from one of your sources. The story in Star Wars movies, said film critic Roger Ebert, is the less crucial element as time goes by. What? Why would Roger Ebert say that? What's more important in a movie than the story? You could start with some tiny historical factoid or a lesser-known narrative. While filming Return of the Jedi, the film was given the codename Blue Harvest to throw any potential tabloid spy off the scent and away from set. How's that now? What are you going to explain about the behind-the-scenes making of this film that can help explain why that piece of information is important? The hook, in all these cases, starts your reader thinking about what the text might uncover for them. It makes them interested by raising questions in their mind about the information you might have that you're willing to share with them. It's an invitation to come with you if they want to find out more. Here's a couple examples of good hooks that start a paper or article off. These are from all over, not just Star Wars stuff. This is from an article called Sales Jerk. There's something captivating about Vince the ShamWow pitchman. Oh, there is? What is it? Tell me, what is it? Keep going. This opening line is an invitation to keep reading. This one's from Max Brooks, dude writes zombie novels. It will never die. It may disappear for a while, stay out of sight, out of mind, but sooner or later it will rise again. And no matter what we do or how hard we try, it will never die. Yikes. What is it? This hook sets up a mystery, but it also starts to establish the tone and topic of the article as a whole. This is going to be a paper about pop culture's interest in zombies. This is from one of my mentors, Paul Youngquist. Youngquist is a scholar of 19th century British poetry, and this essay was in a special edition of a literary journal he was editing. He begins, Paul O'Neill, Corin Gaines, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Rika Boyd, Trevon Martin, Sean Bell, Amadou Dalio. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, dang. This is early in the Black Lives Matter movement. What's that got to do with British poetry of the 19th century? A lot, actually, but we've got to keep reading to find out what exactly. This is an invitation. This one is from my book. It's the opening line. Joanna Southcott's body was tightly wrapped in layers of flannel, propped up in the bed where she had died 4 days earlier. What? Dead? 4 days? What's going on here? I need to keep reading to find out what this is about. This essay won a Pulitzer Prize for journalism a few years ago. Sam Seattle was deep in a tequila haze, so staggeringly drunk that he would later say he retained no memory of the crime he was beginning to commit. Wow, a lot going on here. Again, this is an invitation into a topic. It asks us to read more to discover what the paper will tell us. Last one, another Pulitzer winner. This is on the Central Valley. The two field workers scraped hose over weeds that weren't there. Let's pretend we see many weeds, Francisco Galvez told his friend Rafael. That way, maybe they'd get a full week's work. This essay is about the drought that hit the valley a few years back, but the setup here gives us something of a strange historical anecdote. It's a short snapshot into that moment and invites us to read more to discover why this snapshot is important. Hooks show up in every form of writing. They aren't always necessary, but they can be a chance to play around a little bit, to engage the reader, to quicken their sense of mystery or their thirst for knowledge. This is a psychological trick. It puts your reader in the mindset to learn something from you. If you're looking for a formula, try this. First, the hook. One sentence. Factoid, stat, anecdote, quote. Second, the topic. This is 1 to 2 sentences. Establishes what the paper will cover. If you go into 2 sentences here, it should really only be to clarify or narrow the topic. Third, the complication. 1 sentence. What's missing in our understanding of this topic? What has been overlooked? And fourth, the question. What are you going to answer in this analysis? Sometimes this question can be part of the complication above as well. Okay, give it a shot.